Check out this week's episode of Chopping It Up with Buck. Guys, I've talked to each one of you individually, and there's so much going on in the world today in sports, but it's kind of been superseded because we don't have any sports. So Mad Dog, I'll go to you. What's the state of America and how have things been with you and your house, and how are things happening with the state of America from your perspective?
Well, the state of America, in my perspective, probably be a little bit different than some other folks because, we've been sequestered in place. They told us to stay down. Austin is back up on the charts pretty high on this COVID-19 thing. So, we're wearing masks everywhere we got to go. Everybody wearing masks and washing their hands. It's interesting to see, how we're trying to bring sports back into play, as quick as we can, especially professional sports as well as collegiate sports. And it's also very interesting to see how many of these kids are coming up positive on their test, and it's kind of scary when you look around and you see that LSU has 30 plus kids. Oklahoma State, has a bunch of kids. There's Texas has close to 20 kids that are have the virus. So I mean, it's kind of hardcore seeing what's going on in this world. When the virus first started, they talked about it was going to be for folks that were older and a minority population. But now I see it's hitting a bunch of young kids, and they hadn't been as socially distanced as they're supposed to be. So it's really a tough thing seeing that happen. The state of racial situation and injustice that's going on out here right now. I grew up in the 60s, and this has reminded me of the 60s so much. I just think we just need to have the one solid message going forward to what we need to do. I'm kind of excited to see that, our white brothers and sisters are jumping there in the middle and helping us, getting in the middle of it and trying to at least point out the racist things that they see. There's been a nice group of them going on. There's been marches everywhere, all over the world. So it's a different world, but it's one that we're going to have to find our new social norm to what it's going to be, and sports is a big part of that. If we can get the relationship that you guys had in the weight room and in the locker room, and get that team bond going with everybody to where everybody, no matter what shape, color, size you are, love each other and put the work in and everybody for a common goal, and that's to make the best of America and learn how to love each other, hate each other, we'll be all right.
Yeah. Hey, Kevin, I'll go to you on that. Thanks, Bad Dog, for that. Kevin, give us your thoughts. You and I had a show earlier, but we've talked a little bit since then. Give me your thoughts on the state of America and what you see with all the things that are happening.
From the you kind of have two crazy scenarios going on at once. If you said that you've got a global pandemic going on and you've got a deadly disease that's gonna affect, a very small number of people, relatively speaking, but to me, I don't know, 120,000 counting is a pretty significant number. But when you're talking about global pandemics and panic as far as that goes, trying to reopen the economy, everything that's going on politically, that would be one thing. You could pretty much put that on one side and have it wrapped up like a nice, gift wrapped package. But then you bring in the whole, civil rights and that whole struggle. To me, civil rights comes to a head when people's awareness meets the level of brutality, meets the level of violence, meets the level of, just empathy as well. So, two very different things, but going on both at the same time. It's really a crazy time that we're living in right now. And then, here we are talking about, trying to bring sports, back and trying to bring sports into that equation with those two crazy things that we just mentioned. So for me, You know, I've got a son who's home, a college athlete, is a tight end at Dartmouth University, Dartmouth College, and Zion is home right now. He's working out at home. I'm trying to up his collective football IQ and trying to get him up to speed. I'm his blocking dummy. I got my shield out there and everything, and we're watching film. And but it's not the same.
Yeah.
This camaraderie, this esprit de corps that we all had. And when I see Hardy, the funny thing is, you see Hardy, and Hardy's got that jersey over his shoulder. It's Cal. He's this mild-mannered guy, smart guy, and I get that because I'm somewhat mild-mannered as well. And I'm, I consider myself somewhat intelligent, but Hardy's like really smart. When you're around him, he's intelligent. He's a linebacker in the huddle that made all the calls, made all the adjustments. He was in control.
Yeah.
When I was in the Pro Bowl, in 99, after the 99 season, and we're in the huddle, and this is when I got introduced to Hardy Nickerson. Okay, I'd shaken his hand a handful of times here and there, but I'm in the huddle, and he says something. I don't even remember what you said, Hardy, but Hardy comes and hits me as hard as he can with his. It was a face mask check, and everybody, that's what they do in the huddle. They're Tampa Bay, and they're back in them days, there was like 4 or 5 of them in the defensive huddle. Because they had one of the best, if not the best, defense in the league, and so they all know this is coming. Derek Brooks is laughing his butt off. Warren is next to me. Warren is laughing at me, picking on me. Saying dummy. Say, but that won't happen again. But those stories, that love, that esprit de corps, that can't happen right now because of what we're going through. You talked about it, Jeff, the whole, all these kids testing positive. One of my son's best friends was one of the kids that had to come home from K-State because, they had 30 or so of them that tested positive. So this is a crazy, crazy, crazy wild time. This is a time for prayer, for empathy, and for voting.
Yeah, exactly. Hey,
Hardy,
Hardy, we got to bring you in. And Hardy and I have known each other a long time. And I told him, I was joking with him. I said, I played against him as a freshman. Ken Harvey and he were on bookends, and they were really good. They didn't have much of an offense, but their defense was really good. And
no
Hardy,
offense.
And getting to know Hardy, like you said, Kevin, really mild-mannered, just very thoughtful guy. But the first introduction to him was he would not stop talking. He talked the whole game, and Ken Harvey was worse than him. I was like, man, do you guys ever stop? But I understood his passion for the game, and I said that it bears itself out. We'll talk about kids and all of them that have been home with us. But Hardy, I want to get your thoughts on the state of America and kind of what that looks like for you. And being a Cal guy, I'm a UCLA guy. There's always some social consciousness out on the West Coast, no matter where you go to school, but in particular, those two schools.
Yeah, like echoing what Kevin and Mad Dog have said, we're in some different time. It's a different time right now. Every day seems to be a new adventure. From what you read and or what you follow politically every day on a day-to-day basis. It just seems to be totally out of the ordinary. And then, of course, like Kevin said, you pile things on top of each other, such as the police brutality, the racial injustice, racial prejudice. We're in a I think with all that coming together, we are at a very unique time in this generation, a time where if we do things right, we can affect change and have some really good change for the good. And I think as Mad Dog said, those are things that we've got to focus on. And for me and my family, we have, I think emotionally, we've pretty much run the gamut from the pandemic, not knowing the uncertainty behind that, not knowing, man, it just changed everything. simple things like going to the grocery store. All of a sudden, you're putting on gloves, you got a mask on. I'm wearing a cap that covers everything, got glasses on and a mask and everything. And then, you're worried about, hey, wait, people getting too close to you. Social distancing was, first, and then of course, this just dealing with that has been an adventure. Worried about that, and then with what has happened with George Floyd and Ahmaud Arbery, and it is really, really heart-sinking, saddening.
I want to, yeah, and Hardy, you hit the nail on the head, Hardy. It's been tough, and I'm going to ask all of you guys that, because the first thing I thought of is, getting home safely. I think all of us have had that conversation with our grandparents or great grandparents or father, and now we're having it with sons and daughters. And that was the next thing that I wanted to come to you, Hardy, again on, is how was that conversation? Because you have a son, and Hardy, plays in the league, and then you got two daughters. You and your wife, Amy, how was that conversation with those kids? Because they are young adults, and we all have that mix. What was that like when they saw the video and they had discussions with you and you had discussions with them?
It was heart-wrenching.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, my wife and I, we've always had the conversations with our kids about police and police brutality. I grew up in South Central Los Angeles, where police. When I was growing up, if we were on the street playing ball in the street, all of a sudden cops pull up and we're all laying on the ground, or we're all with our hands on a car, and they're asking us who we are. Being profiled. So we've always had that discussion, but just the conversation, the seriousness of the conversation hit with our kids about how concerned we've always been. Like, hey, when you go on someplace, call us first. My son, playing in the league, got pulled over in Cincinnati, and cops pull up, and we've always told them, hey, if you ever get pulled over, call one of us, so we're on the line and we hear the conversation. So we've taken precautions like that, and it just for them, it helped reiterate what we've been preaching to them about. Hey, it's not about being safe. We're trying to save lives here, not have anything really bad go on, because the truth of the matter is, police brutality is real, and
Yeah,
and that's a very serious thing.
Mad Dog, you've had, not only your sons, but yourself play college football, but you've had so many other young men that you've mentored through that. Being a strength and conditioning coach, I always say that's the pivot point of every organization. It's the heartbeat of any program. So wherever you've been, I'm sure you've had these discussions about kids wanting to transfer, kids upset. But what are your guys calling you and saying to you when this is going on, along with your children as well? It seems to be, it's a hot topic. It's a discussion that we all having with our friends, families, and loved ones. But what has that been like for you?
Well, it's been very interesting, and the phone's been blowing up pretty much, because you think about it. I have a once a week call with probably about 30 or 40 of my guys from Carolina. And I got a same call with another day with the Colorado guys. And I got another one with about 20 to 30 of the Rice guys. Back even in your area. So the good thing about it is they trust you enough to ask you questions and try to say, what should we do, or how is this thing going to break down, or what do you think, coach, at least. And I've also have, just like yourselves, I've got two boys, and my boys have been with me everywhere I've gone, and now they're men, because they were born in, one's 33 and the other one's 29. you know. So when we had to pull all together, you know, I pulled them back to the house because we got plenty of room, you know, and I got my grandbaby here, my granddaughter here, and she's been here since right before, well, May, right when everything first kicked off. So we're all here getting on each other's nerves, but loving each other at the same time, you know, but also you got a better chance to protect them. You know, we go through the whole thing about police and how to do things. And one thing, I don't know if you remember, Buck, even when you were back at Rice, I've always had a host of police officers that were there, you know, and when I got married, I had 7 or 8 of those guys in my wedding, and you know, detectives and, you know, Secret Service guys. And so I've had a great relationship with the police department as far as training them and helping them, you know, and that's every city that I've been in. So it's kind of disheartening when you see how some of those other guys are treating people, you know, and the rough thing about it is every cop is not a bad cop. You know, when we went to Colorado, you know, there was 20 something guys in jail when I took the job, and I was fortunate enough, you know, in the 4 years I was there, not to have another one get put in jail, you know, just because of the relationships of how you work along with the police. And that's a small population, because that population deals with athletics. Now, when you're out here in the real world, like I am right now, it's a whole different ball game. You know, it's a whole different ball game. You know, when they recognize who you are, they treat you pretty good. But when they don't, you're just like another guy on the street. You know, and fortunate enough to talk to them about yes sir, no sir, and do whatever the heck they say. Don't question them. You know, keep your arms, your hands up. You know, and so they can see every move. If you ask you for whatever they ask you for, you better make sure you got it before you ever walk out the door to get in your car. You know, so there's a lot of things that happen out there, even when you know, when you're on different scenes and you see things happen. You know, it's what's good is if other people are speaking up and watching and videotaping, it helps. I've got cameras for my kids' cars now. So I mean, it goes up in the front and it shoots inside the car and it shoots behind you. You know, all you do is just turn it just slightly. When they come up to the car, it's almost like having the thing they have to wear now, but it'll be on. As long as the car is on, the video's rolling. So, you know, there's a lot of different things you have to do that you don't want to do, you know, and I tell my guys, when I say my guys, are the guys that I've coached in other cities and other programs, to train your children, help your children, you know, protect your children, you know. And the other thing you have to protect them from is we got a lot of guys that have multi relationships. I mean, they got kids with that are, you know, mixed kids. I mean, whether they're black and white or black and Hispanic or, you know, whatever they are, it doesn't make a difference. They're kids, you know, so you got to make sure that you protect them and let each one of them know if you got one drop of black blood in you, you're black in other people's eyes. Yeah. You know, so therefore, when they come to you, you better act the same way the young black kids got to act. You know, I tell my guys when they go into places, if something happens in that group, first people they're going to come to is going to be the black folks. So you got to make sure that you are smart, protect yourself, and don't do anything stupid out there to get yourself in trouble.
Yeah. Hey, so we're going to take a short break here. Kevin, I'll come back to you when we come back. We're chopping it up with Buck, the live edition. I'm glad you could join us. Hold on. We'll come back on the other side and bring it right back to you.
How you guys doing? It's Artavius Scott here. The reason why I like Thin Energy is because I need to be at my peak performance no matter what I do. Big sports drink for me, you know, keep it going, keeping myself up. It gets me on top of my game, extra boost that I need to keep it going in the fourth quarter. Working out, definitely a good drink for you to have. All the good nutrition that you need inside of it. Passion fruit, it's my favorite one. It's not just for professional athletes, it's for everyone. Yeah, I definitely can say it definitely works in the office or in the weight room, wherever you may be. You can go to thinenergy.com, tell them I sent you, and get you a drink. Thin Energy, the healthy alternative. Drink it, live it. See, if I got something like that, I can just go.
No sugar, no crash. Thin Energy. Many people are looking for natural alternatives to help ease their aches and pains. Begin stopping the pain with the help of Pain Stopper. Formulated by healthcare providers, Pain Stopper helps alleviate a variety of physical ailments so you can get back to doing what you love. Our products are triple independently lab tested to ensure the highest quality hemp available. Visit PainStopCBD.com for more information. Pain Stopper, because why manage pain when you can stop it?
How you guys doing? It's Artavis Scott here. The reason why I like Thin Energy is because I need to be at my peak performance no matter what I do. Big sports drink for me, keep it going, keeping myself up. It gets me on top of my game, extra boost that I need to keep it going in the fourth quarter. Working out, definitely a good drink for you to have. All the good nutrition that you need inside of it. Passion fruit, it's my favorite one. It's not just for professional athletes, it's for everyone. And I definitely can say it definitely works in the office or in the weight room, wherever you may be. You can go to thinenergy.com, tell them I sent you, and get you a drink. Thin Energy, the healthy alternative. Drink it, live it.